Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing two looks with the new Nomad palette from Juvia's place. I did receive this in PR and I asked on my community tab as well as on Instagram what you guys wanted to see, because I also did get the Warrior 3 palette. So I asked which one you'd want to see a video on first, with the Warrior 3, the Nomad, or if you guys would like to see me do kind of like a multi-palette bingo using both of them. And at the time I asked that, the multi-palette bingo won out, so I actually already did film that. It's a lot more of a very long chatty video with lots of updates and things like that, and I'm not sure if that video will go up first or this one, but anyways, if it's live, I'll link it, otherwise stay tuned. But anyways, looking back a couple days later at the poll, it looks like the majority of you guys wanted to see a tutorial and a video on the Nomad palette. So I figured I would go ahead and film some looks with it. These hopefully will just be kind of quicker looks and tutorials, just so I can play around with this palette and see what I think. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into the first look. Alright, so this palette does not have any names on it, and as well, just so you guys can see, it is a little bit smaller than the Warrior 3 palette. The Warrior 3 palette does have names on the shades, and the pans are quite a bit bigger. So for reference, here's kind of the comparison for anybody curious about the newer ones coming out. So anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a photo on the screen and show you which shade I'm going to be using to be the most helpful to you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a big fluffy blending brush and go right into this kind of like burnt orange shade. Take that into my crease and transition area. Now, just in case anybody's curious, I do not have any eyeshadow primer on my eyelids, but I do have a little bit of foundation on my eyelids just to cancel out the darkness. Also, I do feel like I have to build these up a little bit more so than I am used to with some of the other Juvia's Place palettes that I have. So as you can see, there's a pretty good pigmentation here, but I feel like it's taken a bit to build up to this color than I feel like I'm used to with some of the other palettes that I have. Alright, now with a very small blending brush, I'm going to go into the darkest shade in the palette, which is like a rich dark matte brown. I'm going to take that to the outer corners of my eyes and kind of blend low into my crease as well. Okay, this one has some really good pigmentation. That's a really beautiful brown shade. I just know when I did the multi-palette bingo, there were a couple other shades in here that had a little bit of some time to build up, as well as that orange one I just used, so it's nice that this brown one's coming in hot. Alright, and then going back in with that first blending brush I used, and then the very first shadow, just a touch of it, I want to just kind of blend and soften that brown shade just a little bit, just so we can kind of diffuse them together, blend them out just a little bit more. That's pretty. Alright, next up I'm going to go into the metallic gold shade at the very center of this palette. Now, from my experience in using this the very first time for the multi-palette bingo look that I did, it is a very, very flaky shadow, a little bit different than what I'm used to from like the Queen palette, and then even I did play around with the Warrior 3 palette, and these ones just don't seem as flaky. They're a little bit more of a metallic without being super flaky, and this gold shade is just very, very flaky. It is beautiful, but I feel like it's a little bit finicky. You might get a better application with using your finger. I do not like using my finger, so I'm going to try with a different brush today. I'm going to be using the Beauty Junkies Pro Concealer brush. As you can see, it's just like a very flat kind of little concealer brush. I'm going to pick up quite a bit of product on this brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and spray it with the Morphe setting spray before applying. So I've got some product already on the brush, and I do recommend doing this. I say this all the time, but just in case you're new here, do not wet your brush and then dip into your shadows, because that can hard pan and ruin your shadows. I hate that tip. Get some product on your brush first, then wet it. This definitely gives I think a better application without ruining your shadow. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the inner portion of my lid. See, that is definitely much better. It's giving a beautiful foiled effect now without as much fallout. I think I'm still going to get a little bit of fallout, but definitely not as much. So I'm just going to sweep that up and then back. Usually when I do something like this, it can kind of give a little bit of a cut crease kind of look. I really don't want a super like harsh looking. I want a soft lines kind of a look, but it might give it a little bit of a look of a cut crease. Always go back and blend it if you don't want that look. Or like I said, use your finger. This is a really, really beautiful shade. Just takes a little bit of babying, but not too bad. Alright, now going back in with that small blending brush I used with that dark brown shade. I'm not going to put any additional product on it just yet, we'll see. And I'm just going to kind of run and blend it a little bit here so it doesn't look like such a harsh line. We're going to make a little bit of a gradient. And then I'm going to also kind of sweep and blend it over here so it doesn't look so harsh either. Okay, maybe I will grab just a touch more of that brown. And just gently sweep like this. That way it doesn't look so much like a cut crease. Just to soften it up a little bit. Disperse some of that gold around so it just looks a little softer. Alright, now I think I'm going to go into that mossy green shade. It looks really pretty. I haven't used this one yet, so I'm excited to see how it performs. I'm going to take it on a very, very small blending brush and bring that to my lower lash line. Alright, now just in the interest of using as many shades as I can today, as well as I don't want to muddy up this color, this green color, because I thought about using this orange shade that I used in my crease up here, down here, just to kind of smoke this out a little bit, but I feel like that will kind of brown and muddy up the shade a little bit, so I want to go into this a little bit more yellow toned orangey shade. I'm not quite sure how you would describe this shade, but anyways, I'm going to take that on a different fluffy blending brush and just kind of softly smoke out that green. I feel like maybe I need a smaller brush, but we'll see how this one does. Oh, that's pretty. Very, very light, but I think that's good because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to muddy up or lose that green at all. But I do want to like kind of smoke it out just a touch. Kind of bring it up and blend with the upper shadows. Okay, I think that looks really pretty, but I think I'm going to do one more thing before I finish off this look. I just feel like there's too much of a separation between this, the lower lash line, and the upper lash line, so I'm going to go back in with the very first blending brush, and again, that very first kind of orangey shade, and just kind of blend down here, just so they kind of meld together. Hopefully this will work. We'll see. Just more focusing it on the outer corner to bring it in with the yellow. Okay, yeah, I think that looks a little bit better, and it didn't really brown like I thought. I was kind of keeping it very close to the outer edge, but even if it did brown just a little bit, I think that'd be fine because it kind of melded in with the brown on the outer corner of my upper lid. So I think that looks really, really pretty. I'm really happy with the way this looks. Very, very simple, easy look. Just wanted to test some more of these shadows out. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my look off camera, brows and mascara. Or actually, I want to do a liner. I did bring over two liners that I thought might pair well with this palette. I have this one, which I use all the time. It's the Urban Decay eye pencil in the shade Overdrive, which is a green. But I also brought this over. I thought it might be really pretty. This is another Urban Decay eyeliner, and it's the shade Alkaline, which is a gorgeous burgundy. I thought I might use for today's look, but now that I've kind of made up my mind on what I did, I definitely think the green will work better. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in my waterline real quick, and then I'll go ahead and do my brows and lashes off camera and show you guys the completed look. Alright, so here are the eyes up close completed. I don't know why I said it so weird. Just a really simple look. Tried to use as many shades as I could for this first tutorial. I really hope you guys liked it. I'm still kind of developing my thoughts on this palette, but I do think this is a really beautiful look. And then if you are curious, I did decide to go ahead and put on a gloss. I'm wearing the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine lip gloss in the shade Back Talk to complete this look. And this is the completed look, so with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to look number 2. Alright, so for So for look number 2, I want to focus a little bit more on these green and grungier, deeper tones. Since with the first look I used mostly the yellows and oranges over here, so I really want to give these ones a try today. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of go with it, but hopefully I do something good because I have somewhere to go today and I don't have a lot of time to really think this through, so we're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna go right in with a big fluffy brush and go into this bottom kind of green brown, almost looks like baby poop kind of a shade. Sorry to describe it that way, but honestly that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna take that right into my crease and transition area. Okay, again, I did not put primer on. I just had some foundation on my eyelids, but I feel like, and I don't know if it's my eyeball or if it's these shadows, I keep getting like some skipping right here. So I think I'm gonna wipe this off real quick. We're gonna do a little bit of a start over. I'm gonna put some primer down. Okay, so I really quickly just laid down some of this Urban Decay primer potion. I was just thinking about it as I was doing that and thinking that it possibly could be my eyelid because I feel like I had that same issue a few times before, and it's always this eye and it's always that area. Maybe shadows just don't stick to that area sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes skin is weird. I just remembered that it happened previously with another look I was doing, and I was using a purple shadow, and I thought maybe it was the purple shadow because purple shadows are notoriously difficult in general, so I thought maybe it was that, but it could just be my eye. So anyways, laying down that primer, so hopefully that might help it a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna go back in and we'll see how this goes. Well, the primer definitely makes it apply a lot more pigmented for sure. I do still feel like, I don't know if you guys can see, like there's a spot right here where it's just kind of not sticking. So it definitely could be my eye for some reason. I have a spot here on my, oh, you can kind of see it right here. There's a spot like randomly right here on my cheek where product doesn't stick to either. So I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I just deal with it. I don't love it because sometimes it makes it look like I don't know how to do my makeup because it looks patchy sometimes, but I really can't help it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and go into this kind of like creamy nude shade with just like a flatter, more flat blending brush just to kind of soften up that blend right there. I'm going to bring it from my brow bone and just kind of blend it downwards just so we can soften up this color. I really like this color a lot. For a very fair, light color, it packs a good amount of pigmentation. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this kind of army green type kind of color and a smaller blending brush and just take that to my crease. I'll probably focus quite a bit of it on inner and outer corners of my lids and bring it down a little bit onto my lid space as well. Okay, I really like the gradient this is creating. It looks really pretty, but I do think I want to go back in with that fluffy blending brush and a little bit more of that poopy color. Just a little bit, and just blend a little bit more so we can bring a little bit more of that back, just very gently. Okay, yeah, I like that. It's very subtle, I think. but I feel like it definitely makes a difference just to bring it back just a little bit more. All right, now I want to go into the other metallic shade in here, and I can't quite tell if it's like green, gray, or brown. I mean, it's not quite gray, but it's like a brown green. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna put that on the center of my lid where I have the you know, the open space there. I'm gonna try it at first without setting spray, but I don't know if I might need to add some setting spray, but we'll lay it down first just to see how well it goes. I'm gonna be applying it with my Royal & Langnickel BX80 brush. Actually, just in case I get any fallout, I'm gonna go ahead and lay a little bit of powder down. I don't want to mess up my face with a dark shadow, so just very lightly, just gonna pat a little powder down, catch any fallout. Oh, that's actually laying down really, really nicely. Definitely am getting some fallout, so I'm glad I laid that powder down. I think it might, even though it's applying really, really well on its own, I think it definitely would be better with some spray just so there's not fallout. Oh, this is a really, really beautiful shade, honestly. Oh my gosh. Definitely seems like a very grungy kind of army green because it's matching really, really well with the matte shade down there, but it just has a little bit more shimmer to it. Very, very beautiful. I am going to go ahead and just spray this just so I don't get more fallout as I continue to pack it down. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take a very, very, very small blending brush and go into that dark brown here in the palette, and then just run that along my lower lash line. Alright, now just to soften that up and smoke it out just a little bit, I want to go in with either this little pukey shade or the green one. I'm not quite sure. I feel like this one would make more sense since that's the one I have up here in my transition, but I don't know if it's going to be a little bit too brown for this, but I don't know, maybe it'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take that the lighter brown green weird shade. Okay, yeah, that's doing it. It's very close in color, but it's fine. It's enough just to give it that smoky effect that I'm wanting. And kind of blend up here and transition up here. I don't know if it's just fall or whatever, but lately I've just been really into that very blown out, very smoky lower lash line. Just think it looks so pretty. Yeah, I love it. Alright, now I kind of want to add a little bit of a pop to my inner corner, so I am just going to very carefully take that golden shade in the center with a pencil brush and just see if I can gently just pop that into the inner corner. I know this is a very flaky shade, so I want to be careful. I don't want to make a mess on my face. So I'm just going to kind of pat and dab it in there. Alright, and then for liner, I'm just going to stick with my tried and true green liner from Urban Decay, the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Overdrive. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes for this look. I'm just really in the mood for lashes. Definitely don't think this look needs lashes, I just want them. So I'm going to be using the Pure Cosmetics Bombshell Lashes. Alright, oh, I love the way this is looking, but I just have to say, like, the Bombshell lashes from Pure Cosmetics, you guys already know, are my very favorite, but I opened up a brand new pair today for this look. And I feel like the style's a little bit different. It's not quite the same. And also I feel like this little bit right here is like flaring down, whereas this one's going up. Like, what's going on? These do not seem the same. So I'm a little bit sad about that. I really hope they didn't change up the style or whatever, because like, they're normally my favorite, but this is not. So if you're noticing this lash looks a little bit wonky, like I don't know what the deal is with it. It's looking wonky. Anyways, not the same. All right. This is pretty much it for the eyes. I am going to do a lip real quick, but first I thought it might be cute to do a little stamp liner. I love these things, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little star stamp right here with the Lottie London stamp liner. I just think that's such a fun touch. I don't know. I love it. But oh my god, I have to say I'm really, really loving this eye, like this grungy green. I'm living for it. I love greens. Okay, so for lips, I think I want to pull out this lipstick from Urban Decay. It is a limited edition lipstick. It was from the Kristen Leanne collection, and it's the Comfort Matte lipstick in the shade Bun Bun. I just saw it sitting on my dresser and thought, ooh, that would be really pretty for this look, I think. Alright guys, so this is the completed look. I'd love to know what you guys think, which look was your favorite. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and show you guys some close-ups of this look. And then after that, I will go ahead and kind of do a little wrap-up of my thoughts on this palette. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to my overall thoughts of this palette. I would say there are a few like hits and misses, but overall, like just my thoughts on this palette, I think it's a really great palette. I think it's really beautiful. I do like the color scheme. I think upon when I first like looked at it, it looks boring, but you can definitely create some really beautiful looks, especially for the fall. Now, if you don't already know, this palette is just $15, which is like extremely affordable in my opinion. I mean, it's in the range of drugstore sorts, so it's very, very affordable. As far as like the cons of this palette, I did have a little bit of trouble with this shade here. I think it's beautiful. Like when I swatch it, oh, it's stunning. It's magical. It's beautiful. It's very, very creamy. With the warmth of a finger. So if you're someone who doesn't mind applying it with your finger, like it's going to be stunning. But if you're someone like me who prefers to use a brush, this is a little bit more difficult to work with. It is very, very flaky and you will make a mess, as I did, with your face. But like if you don't mind using your finger, like it's going to be stunning. And it's more just personal preference, but it's stunning. And then the other shade that I felt like I had a little bit of difficulty with is the this orange shade up here. I know I'd used it previously for another video, and I felt like it took a little bit to build up. Even though it's like really bright yellow, it went on a pretty light and took a lot of building. But of course, when I used it, I didn't use a primer, so I definitely feel like with these shadows you want to use a primer. And you guys even saw with this look when I started out with that first green shade down here, it was pretty light, but once I laid down a primer, like bam, there was this crazy pigmentation. So you know, I do feel like these can be pretty pigmented, but definitely will benefit from using a primer, not just a concealer, but like an actual eyeshadow primer, and I think you'll have a big hit with these. But really that's it. Other than that, I felt like most all the other shades were really, really pigmented and performed very well, were very easy to work with and things like that. And overall, I just really like this palette. I like the two looks I've created so far, and I can definitely see, even though it seems like more of a basic palette, I can definitely see potential for a variety of different looks, and you can definitely go more soft and neutral looks. I feel like the looks I did were a little bit more bold, not super bold, but you know what I mean. You can definitely do softer looks since you do have this shade, which actually is very, very pigmented. You can do that like on most of the lid with a little bit of one of these colors like in the outer crease for a softer look. You can go for more of a warm look, and you could also go for more of a grungy look. Like I think you can create a variety of looks within this color palette. I think it's like the color story is well done. I was really happy with it. So my overall thoughts is I really like this palette, and considering it's just $15, that just makes it even better. So there is that. But you guys, really, it's ultimately up to you. Is this a palette that you've had your eye on? Is this even a color scheme you're interested in? Do you need a new palette in your collection? You know, most of us don't, but I know there's a lot of people who don't have a big collection, so this might be a palette you're interested in and grabbing some of these kind of colors into your collection to wear for the fall. I do think it's a really beautiful fall type palette for a very, very reasonable price. So overall, I really, really like it, and I really hope you guys found this video and hearing my kind of brief thoughts on it helpful and informative, and I really hope you guys enjoyed these tutorials. I'd love to know your thoughts on this palette, whether you're going to pick it up or not pick it up. If you already have it, what is your thoughts and opinions on it? Do you like it? Would you recommend it? Share in the comments. That way anybody else watching this this video who may read the comments can have more of a variety of opinions and things about this palette to help them decide if they want to buy or not. But anyways, with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching. If you are new here and you like this video, I'm going to go ahead and put some more videos on the screen for you to check out in case you want to check out more of my content before deciding to subscribe or not. But if you found this video helpful or informative, please give it a thumbs up and share your opinions. But with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!